guys, how you all doing out there today? Incredible thing happened to me. So I go to the shop to find a book to read to you guys. I find a new Dr. Seuss book I'd never read before, like new to me. I didn't even know this existed. On Beyond Zebra. So I'm going to read it to you today. It'll be a little bit back and forthy just because I'm going to bring in the pictures on this one. This is great. So here's the first picture. And this little dude is learning his alphabet. So let's see how it starts. Said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell, that's this little guy, my very young friend who is learning to spell. The A is for ape, the B is for bear, the C is for camel, and the H is for hare. The M is for mouse, the R is for rat. I know all 26 letters like that. A is for apple, B is for bear. All the way through to Z is for zebra. I know them all well, said Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell. So I know everything anyone knows from beginning to end, from the start to the close, because Z is as far as the alphabet goes. Then he almost fell flat on his face on the floor. When I picked up the chalk and drew one letter more, a letter he never had dreamed of before, and I said, you can stop if you want with the Z, because most people stop with the Z, but not me. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this, because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. My alphabet starts with this letter called Zuz. It's a letter I use to spell Zuzamatuz. You'll be sort of surprised what there is to be found once you go beyond Z and start poking around. There's more letters of the alphabet. So, on beyond zebra. Here's another letter. Explore like Columbus. Discover new letters like Wum is for Wumbus. My high-spouting whale who lives high on a hill and who never comes down till it's time to refill. So on beyond Z, it's high time you were shown that you really don't know all there is to be known. This is Wumbus. Here's his next letter. Then just a step further past one, is for Wumbus, and there you'll find and the is for umbus, a sort of a cow with one head and one tail way back here. But to milk this great cow you need more than one pail. She has 98 teats that give milk quite nicely, perhaps 99, I forget quite precisely. And boy, she is something most people don't see, because most people stop at the Z, but not me. There he is. There's some crazy letters, right? Check this one out. This one's really pretty. See it? I ramble, I scramble through swamp and through swamp, where the letters get better, like letters like humph. There's a real handy letter. What's handy about it? You just can't spell humph humpher dumpher without it. It's kind of cute, right? If you stay home with zebra, you're stuck in a rut. But on beyond zebra, you're anything but. Why, I know a fine fancy letter called fuddle. I use it in spelling Miss Fuddle-dee-Duddle. And oh, what kind of a bird of a bird of a bird. Her tail is the longest. Here she is here. That's a long tail, dude. So long and so fancy. She'd be in a fix if she didn't have helpers. It takes about 6 to tag along, hoisting Miss Fuddle-dee-Duddle's wonderful tail out of muddle-dee-puddles. You see the boys? What's next? This is the next letter. And Glick. Glick is for Glicker, who lives in wild weeds and spends his time juggling fresh cinnamon seeds, which he's usually able to find in great number, excepting, of course, in the month of September, when cinnamon seeds aren't around in great number. So that month, he juggles with seeds of cucumber. This guy's little. Look at him right here. And na is the letter I use to spell nutches, who live in small caves known as niches for hutches. Look at them in there. These nutches have troubles, the biggest of which the fact that there are many more nutches than niches. Each nutch in a niche knows that some other nutch would like to move into his niche very much. So each niche in a nutch has to watch that small niche, or nutches who haven't got niches will snitch. Here's the next one. Then we go on to snee, and the snee is for sneedle, a terrible kind of ferocious moose-keedle, whose humdinger stinger is sharp as a needle. Oh, I get it. It's not this guy. It's this little guy. Then Sneedle's too tough to be killed with a smack. He has to be hunted on elephant back. And your eyes and the elephant's have to be keen. And you have to aim fast and you have to hit clean. And the bullet you shoot is a stale kidney bean that you've dunked for 3 weeks in old sour kerosene, which is awfully hard work. So it's easy to see why most people stop at the Z, but not me. Comes the next one. When you go beyond zebra, who knows? There's no telling what wonderful things you might end up spelling. Like Quan is for quandary, who lives on a shelf in a hole in the ocean alone by himself. And he worries each day from the dawn's early night. And he worries, just worries far into the night. He just stands there and worries. He simply can't stop. Is his top side his bottom, or his bottom side his top? See? And then if I turn him around, it's hard to tell, right? That would be a worry, I guess. Next one. And Fnand is for Fnanders. And oh, are they sad. Oh, the big one, you see, has the smaller one's shadow. And the shadow the smaller Fnander has should be his. I don't understand it, but that's how it is. A terrible mix-up in shadows. Gee whiz. You got the wrong shadows, guys. Who's responsible? This is the next one. And Spaz is a letter I use to spell Spazim, a beast who belongs to the Nazim of Bazim. Handy for travelling, that's why he has him. More easy to pack than a suitcase or grip. Those horns carry all he needs on a trip. A thread and a needle for mending his socks, his toothbrush, a cup, and 2 3-handed clocks, and his velvet umbrella, his vegetable chopper, and also his gold-plated popping corn popper, and a grasshopper cage for his favourite grasshopper. See all the things? Next one. And floob is for floobuba babooba bubs who bounce in the water like blubbery tubs. They're no good to eat, and you can't cook them like steaks, but they're handy in crossing small oceans and lakes, because you can just boop, 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 boop. This one looks kind of like a Z. It's Zats, the letter I use to spell Zatsit, whose nose is so high that most nobody pats it. And patting his lonely old nose is the least that a fellow could do for this fine friendly beast. So to get there and do it, I built an invention, the 3-seater Zatsit nose patting extension. If you try to drive one, you'll certainly see why most people stop at the Z. But not me. Bud's pretty tall, you gotta get on up there. Everyone deserves a pat when they need one. It's like a J. And jog, this one is. It's my letter for spelling jagoons who doodle around in the far desert dunes. Just doodle around crooning very sad tunes about peppermint, peanuts and pebbles and prunes and paint pots and polka dots, pinheads and pigs and their grandmothers, grandfathers, stepsisters' wigs. So you see, there's no end to the things you might know, depending how far beyond zebra you go. They're like really cute, right? This is the next one. I have a letter called Flun, and the Flun is for Flunnel, a softish nice fellow who lives in a tunnel. He only comes out of his hole, I'm afraid, when the right kind of softish nice music is played, on a kind of a hunting horn called the O'Grunth, and to learn how to play it takes month after month of practising. Isn't much funneth. And besides, it's quite heavy, weighs almost a toneth, and that's why few people bother to play the O'Grunth when the Flunnel's been out of his tunnel just oneth. That's a heck of a machine. It will be just very tricky to play that. Look at this guy. One giant ear. This one. And way, way past Z is a letter called itch, and the itch is for itchopods, animals which race back and forth and back through the air on a very high sidewalk between here and there. They're afraid to stay there, they're afraid to stay here, they think there is too far and they think here is too near. And since here is too near and out there is too far, they're too scared to roost wherever they are. So they're just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's a lot. Next one. There's a letter called Yek, and the Yek is for Yekko, who howls in an underground grotto in Gecko. These Yekkos love echoes, and this is their motto. For best Yekko echoes, try Gecko, our grotto. I love cabins and caves. Oh, here it is, sorry. The things you can find if you don't stay behind. On a world near the sun live two brothers called Vrooms, who strangely enough are built sort of like brooms, and they're stuck all alone up there high in the blue, and so, to kill time, just for something to do, each one of these fellows takes turns with the other in sweeping the dust off his world with his brother. I guess they're helping each other at least. That's a pretty cool spaceship too. This is the next one. And hi is my letter for Hi Gargalorum, and for getting me places real fast. I'm all for 'em. They puffle along and their brakes never squeak, and they run every hour, every day of the week, from the town of North Nub to the town of East Ounce, making stops at West Bunglefield, Jupster and Jounce, and at Ipswich and also South Bounce, and another small town that's just too hard to pronounce. Would you like to go travelling with those guys? I mean, they get there fast, they're pretty big. and the places I took him. I tried hard to tell young Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell a few brand new wonderful words he might spell. I led him around and I tried hard to show him there are things beyond Z that most people don't know. I took him past zebra as far as I could, and I think, perhaps, maybe I did him some good. I think he learned that there's more things beyond what he knows, because we can't always know everything. And then finally he said, "This is really great stuff. I guess the old alphabet isn't enough." Now the letters he uses are something to see. Most people will stop at the Z, but not he. There's always more to know in the world, isn't there? And the next page says, a list of letters for people who don't stop at Z. And then look, all the letters he's made up with his wonderful imagination. And right at the back it says, what do you think we should call this one? Anyhow. That's crazy, right? I think this is a great book. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you next time.